what's your bed look like? That's probably what you need to work on, huh?
Yay! Because I have all these clothes up here and then they start falling down.
Oh, no, they didn't start falling down. You have
This is the strategy part. Welcome to Improving Parent-Child Relationships. In this episode, we'll be visiting with Rick and Linda and their 6-year-old daughter, Tawana. Both Rick and Linda were raised by very authoritarian parents. They want things to be different with Tawana, but find that old ways are difficult to change. As we begin, Rick is talking about how he wants things to be. So it sounds along the lines of you been trying some things to engage her in what's going on, rather than just
saying do it.
Right, yeah. It's pretty easy just to say the do it stuff. Right? And that she responds a little more to that, but not always.
Right.
Not always. Anything for you?
Well, I'm still sort of the authoritarian.
You still are? You're not cured yet? Tell us what you mean by that.
It's the tone of voice with me.
Okay.
And when I said I mean it, and I expect it to be done right then and there.
Does she do it when you say you mean it, right then and there?
It takes 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Is that
the
something you...
voice escalates. And then
So you escalate. Is that something you want to be different?
I would like to, but it's just embedded in me. It's just a Louisiana. It's a little different out here in Oregon. So
Things are a little bit different, because I think what you're saying is that method isn't entirely workable here.
not
She
with
challenges.
kids.
She's the type. She'll challenge it.
And a lot of times she'll
times.
find me at fault.
Yeah. I don't think that's just a cultural difference. I think it's a historical difference. I think that when we were children, I'm a little older than you are, but when we were children, I think there was more of an expectation that when you were told to do something, you did it. I think that is less true now for children, and they do argue back a little more. It sounds like you're tired of having to remind her.
Yes, 2 or 3 times she'll
Yeah.
challenge me, but not her dad. He could say it once. She's very sensitive to his voice.
Tijuana is a really smart little girl, and I think that she probably watches you, she knows about what she can do. And so in the reminding business, she probably knows that she can get you to remind her 2 or 3 times. She probably knows when the edge of that is, that maybe the 4th time she'd be just in too much trouble, but she knows. My guess is that she sees that that's not a problem for you and that you mean what you say, and that's why she doesn't take you on. But I'm going to guess there are some other things she does to move you around.
Yeah.
And just because we don't want Linda to feel bad here, what's your guess about what those are?
She'll try to make me feel bad sometimes.
Which you may be tempted to give in, because she's pretty cute and adorable. Well, we'll see. But the point I'm trying to make with all this is she knows both of you really well, and children do what works. And that we aren't always aware of that because we're involved in the situation, so we're not always keeping track of exactly what's going on.
Warren, did you take the butter over there? Where is it? You get out of order here. No, you get down and you eat. Tawana, no. That's not where you put the rice off the table, so pick it up.
Some rice went on the floor right there. And so you said you need to, right? And then when she comes to the table, it's that she needs to do something again. And so you've kind of told her what that is. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about that kind of wears you out a little bit?
Yes, because she knows what she's supposed to be doing. She knows she's
Okay.
supposed to be getting at the table, get ready to eat or whatever. But she'll be doing everything else.
She knows what she needs to do. And so if you were to talk to her about this some other time and say, do you know what's expected at dinner time? not at dinner time, but some other time, you believe that she could tell you that I need to sit down with the family and eat, and that would be a good thing for probably you to do, because it's always nice to know, to get validation that you're right about what you think about her, that she does know. And the reason I think that confidence is so important is that if you know she knows what to do, then there would be no reason to be telling her at the time. If I act like I don't know what to do, then you'll tell me. And then if I act a little more like I don't know what to do, then you'll tell me again. Resist children's invitations to remind them.
Move the butter.
No.
Okay, now go sit. Do not get up from the table till you're done.
I need some.
Oh, you forgot what I told you.
I need some.
You forgot what I told you, right?
Mom, Carson said please.
What do you think would be a really good rule for dinner time?
When dinner's on the table, sit and eat.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Do you think she would understand that rule if you
yes.
made it a rule? Yeah. But I'm guessing that you would anticipate she would create little flurries here and there, right? Because she's pretty good at that. She's got a lot of talent, this kid. So what would you do if you established that as a rule and she acted like she didn't believe it, that you actually had this rule?
Keep reminding her of the rule. Ask her what the rule is.
But earlier you said that you were kind of spent on reminding her.
Then I would ask her. I wouldn't remind her.
Now, tell me why you're asking her.
So that she can get her hand on what the rule is.
But you would have had this conversation before. She knows what the rule is.
I figure after she's cited a while herself, she'd get it.
Or just tell her she's done.
Well,
Hey, okay, you're done. Bye.
yeah, you're showing me that. What I'm after here, Linda, is that I don't think, it sounds to me like you got two strategies going, which sometimes are fine. One is to remind her, you know, you need to be doing this, and the other is to ask her whether she knows. Now, I think she's so cagey that she would actually lead you to believe she doesn't know or can't remember, when you have reason to believe that she probably can remember and does know. So I think that neither reminding or asking her is going to be effective. It's just going to wear you out. But what you might do is act on it. That's credibility, when you act. And I think that you may be in the right direction here, that if she's fooling around, maybe she's demonstrating that she's done with dinner. Or maybe she never started, but she's not interested. So maybe it's over for her. What would you do if you thought that? If you thought dinner's over for her?
Send her to the room with a meat and bread.
Why, if dinner's over, what's she taking meat and bread
She
for?
gotta eat.
Why is that, Linda?
She'll tell someone I didn't feed her.
And it would be true. So she knows you're a nice person.
No, she'd probably turn to her dad.
Oh, this is what you're talking about. Okay, now we're getting to the nice part. So she would think that you're mean, and she'd report it to him. And she's going to come to you and say, Mom won't give me any dinner. What are you going to do? This is exactly the situation you wanted to avoid, by the way. Okay. What would you say to her?
I had to say why.
Why?
With her,
why?
I say why, because she's thought it out already when she comes to do that to me.
Now, when you ask her why, what are you gold mining? What are you hoping to get from her?
I want her to tell me why she's in the situation that she's in.
Yeah, and will she know?
Oh, she'll know, yeah.
Then why are you asking her?
Just to confirm. So that when I say whatever I got to say, then she knows why and there's no misunderstanding.
That you follow up, you ask why, you get it clear, you make sure you know. I mean, that,
Yeah.
you know. But with her, I'm
Right.
thinking that she's making much of this, because with Linda, it's well, you got to remind me, and you haven't asked me yet if I know. And with you, it's you haven't asked me why, so that I can, But either way, it's I'm interacting with you about this, and I'm involving you in this. Now, I'm going to ask you, how mean do you think you'd be if she came to you and said, Mom took away my dinner plate, and you said, that's too bad?
Well, that'd be a little tough for me, I think.
Yeah. Now, it's real important.
Unless I knew all the details.
But what I'm posing is that in this situation, it might not be the best thing to do because she's just stringing you out over a long period of time and getting you involved in something and getting you in the middle, because now she's checking out, well, is this a reasonable thing for Mom to be doing, Dad? What do you think about it? Now, do you have a different position about it? I mean, maybe she shouldn't have done that. Could you go talk to her about that? And I think support for Linda is when you just say, well, that's too bad. With total confidence that if she doesn't want the plate removed, if Tijuana doesn't want the plate removed, she probably would settle down and eat. And that Linda's probably pretty on the money and just acting on it. What do you think? What if he did that for you? Would that be a good thing? What if Rick took that position and he wasn't going to have the inquiry of the century over this?
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, she's ready.
Oh, yeah, that's something I have
she
to work
runs
on.
to her dad a lot sometimes, but she has her way of wording things. She'll say, Mom don't, Dad's the man, Dad's the boss. Mom don't make the decision all the time. Daddy, you make the decision. Don't let Mom make the decision all the time.
Right, and of course the reason she's saying that is that she didn't like what you decided.
Right, exactly.
So she's taken it to a higher court of authority here. Right. And what you want is I want to be able to be credible with her, and when I say dinner's over, it really is over. Go to any higher court you want. He's not getting involved in this mess. This is between you and me. Right.
Enforce simple rules. Allow the other parent to enforce rules without intervening.
Is that the Disney Channel on? Yeah.
Wait a minute now.
This is the strategy part. When you think about the intelligence of somebody who would create that kind of crossfire. Because on the one hand, she's doing a highly desirable thing. She's cleaning. But there's a problem.
Windex doesn't make good seasoning.
Yeah. She's going to stop it.
Oh, she's going to stop.
She's going to stop. Let's see.
Wait a minute now. You still eating. Why don't you do that after we finish eating?
Can you do this?
Yeah, okay, but stop.
Maybe not.
I forgot about that.
Because what's going on here is that she's doing something she already knows she shouldn't be doing. Mm-hmm. That's not probably even an issue, right? You've told her to stop it, which she also knows she should do. And now she's showing you maybe just a couple more squirts. And so this is kind of my case against telling people what to do because they don't do it.
Let's try and get that in our plate.
Come on, that's enough.
That's enough. That's more than enough.
Now that I've had the last word and the last squirt, I'm going. In the situation where then you had to tell her you're squirting my food and don't do it and she keeps going, what do you now think? Because there's a lot of repetition built into life. This will come up again. What would you want to do?
What would I have done differently? Well, honestly, I probably would have raised my voice. I would have said, Tijuana, I said, stop. And then she would have looked at me and she would have stopped.
Okay.
I think I didn't put a, we don't call it, emphasis on stop now.
Do you want to have to yell at her?
No.
Okay. So let's try something else. What do you think would happen if, in this kind of situation, when you see her there about to do, I mean, you probably saw where this was going. She had the bottle in her hand. You had your food 12 inches from it. My guess is you could see what was going to happen here. Or even if you didn't, on first squirt, it would become clear.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if then, with no commitment to reasoning, explaining, asking why, stating the rules, any of those things that have to do with talking or yelling at the further end, if you just calmly, before you get upset, I mean, assume you get kind of upset about this, most people would, before you get upset and before there's any chance for repetition, if you just took the bottle away, put it on the kitchen shelf without comment, demonstrating, we're not doing this, what would she do?
She'd probably kind of smirk a little bit, but she would have known.
Yeah, I think she would have too.
She'd been like,
Yeah. And what I'm after here is I don't think that the reminding, the asking for the rules, the having her explain establishes credibility. I think that what establishes credibility is calm action without yelling or being angry, upset, just that this isn't what's going to happen, the bottle goes up. And I think what you're demonstrating here, if you were to do that, is we're not doing nonsense.
Act, not talk.
What were you supposed to do after that meeting?
Huh?
What were you supposed to do after that meeting? What's your bedroom like? That's probably what you need to work on, huh? Isn't it? Okay, put your chair down.
How do you interpret this look?
it's not done.
But she's not telling you that now.
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah, we're going to
She
find out
gives me
later.
that look.
Oh, this the room that you told your dad that you had cleaned up. Not with clothes all over the floor, but you told your dad your room was clean.
Yesterday or something.
Yesterday, today's another day. No, you told him that today.
I didn't tell him that today because I didn't remember when I told him that today. All picked up.
Get up, get up, get up. What are you wearing in the morning? You get up in the morning, you shower in the morning, and you put your clothes on there. Right now, you go to bed because you are in trouble. You specifically told your dad, my room's clean.
Because I had all these clothes up here and then they started falling down.
Oh, no, they didn't start falling down. You have underwear, look at socks all over the floor.
Because I was looking.
Books, those books you just brought from downstairs, so I know that's what you just doing what for. Tijuana, you're not understanding me. Your nightie, where's your nightie?
I'm putting that on as soon as I finish.
No, you put it on now because it's too late to start cleaning up now. You got school in the morning. You get over there and put your nightie on. Tijuana, you don't even have your nightie up there. Where's your nightie?
I can't find it.
Find it. Well, you know why you can't find it? Because you got clothes everywhere. Who knows where they are? Because you have nowhere. Your clothes are nowhere where they belong. Nowhere. You got stuff all on the floor. Yeah, but my drawer is full. I can't put any more clothes in
Because
my
that
drawer
was
is
the last
full.
time. And
That
I had
was-
to take out all the other clothes. I had to take out some
Wait a
clothes.
minute. Why have you put that on the floor?
Because I'm folding them up and putting them in.
It's too late now. No, you told your dad and I both your room was clean. You told me your drawers was full and you couldn't put clothes.
Where's your nightie stuff? Is that what you're sleeping in?
No, she can't find her night because it's probably downstairs in my room somewhere. And somewhere other than where it should be.
Tomorrow you come home and make this room clean.
There's the daddy look. This is how we look when we go to a court of higher appeal. Now, if we didn't know better, we'd think that she would be looking at you for some kind of sympathy here. Because Mom has been pointing out how she hasn't done what she's supposed to. And she told you that she'd done it, both of you, and she isn't doing it, and now she's looking to you, I think, for some sympathy, if not support. This is the look that melts people, right? So she's pretty good here. I wonder what she expects from you.
Help.
Help. Maybe you could, do you mean by sometimes she has the potential for kind of getting you at each other a little bit or at cross purposes? And I can see that your relationship is very strong. This is not going to precipitate a divorce here, but just a little bit of playing one of you against another and kind of stirring it up. And from a kid's point of view, it's very powerful when I can demonstrate to an adult they can't make me do what they say. But it's also doubly powerful when I demonstrate that I can bring two adults into a situation. They're both involved with the room, and neither one of them are able to get me to do it. So they can explain and reason and talk and do all this, but I'm really demonstrating here that I am the one with the upper hand.
Focus on one thing at a time. Resist being drawn into arguments. Help the other parent only when asked. Resist appeals for sympathy.
Tomorrow you come home and
It's clean.
vacuum.
Oh, my, everything's been put away. It's clean. First, I need to go get her 90 to see. Her 90 is downstairs. Say your prayer. Something else. Have mercy.
All right.
I don't got no socks.
You know, Tijuana, you get your socks in the morning when you go to school. Because you're going to get up and you'll find your socks. Night-night, they're my kids. This room has stuff everywhere. Oh, I clean my room. My drawers are full.
What are your thoughts about the room? What are your expectations? If it could be the way you think it should be, how would it be? Would she make her bed before she goes in the morning? Would she pick up her clothes? What would she be doing that would be reasonable?
It's her clothes. She has a dresser drawer to the side. She'll take the clothes off the hangers in the closet. She likes to get up and have the clothes either all on the bottom bunk or the floor, and then she can see everything and she can pick up what she want to put on. I mean, she'll take the socks and
She's a
underwear and
lateral
stuff.
filer. What if you did this? What if you said, here it is spring, nice time of year. We can kind of predict a little warm weather from now until the end. Let's together pick out the clothes that you think you'll be wearing for the next month. Let's get some boxes. And we're going to box up some of this stuff that you think you're not going to wear in the next month. And let's see if we can make it a little more manageable for you. And then here's the second part, Tijuana, that we're going to agree about what's manageable and where it will be. I mean, will it be in the closet? Will it be in the drawer? Is it okay to have a few things over the back of the chair? Is it that you want to just have 5 outfits and lay them out across the floor, one for each day of the week? I mean, I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to agree on what it is. And then if that's not the way it goes, I'll be picking things up. But when I pick them up, they'll be gone for the week. So it's going to kind of narrow down our choices. I think you'd also want to know there isn't going to be a lot of discussion about this. You know, we're not going to be talking about how sad or unfortunate it is or why I'm doing it or why it's a good idea. What I'm interested in is, can we agree on something, and we're both going to keep our end of the agreement. And my end of the agreement would be, I'm not going to nag, remind, or threaten you or yell at you or any of those things. That's my end. Your end is you're going to pick up whatever or do whatever we've agreed to, and we're both going to do it. And then in a week or two or whatever you decide, we're going to talk about how that's going. And it might be that we would change our minds about what we're doing, because it might be that's not enough outfits, or it might be that they got left out or whatever. We'll talk about it again and we'll make a new agreement. What I'm interested in here, Tijuana, is not so much the clothes or the room. It's how it is between the two of us. That's what we're working on here. And what I would say is, please don't agree to anything that you don't actually think you'll do. Because I also really want to trust you. That's so important to me, to trust you. And I think sometimes you feel pressured to agree to things that you aren't going to do. And then you and I have trouble because you've agreed to something you're not going to do. So we have to get real clear on it. What do you think about that kind of conversation with her?
Let me probably give it a try.
Well, because I think you talk so well with her. What do you want Rick to do or not do about this? Because so far we've talked about it mostly involving you. When I don't know if that's an accurate kind of thing, but
Just support the idea. And
how would he
agree.
best support you? I think you'd want to, right? You seem to me like you really want to support Linda. What do you want him to do?
Well, when she runs to him, says, that's between you and your mother. You agreed to this. That's your guys' idea, and I support it.
Okay.
Because she runs to him for escape usually.
Yeah. So you don't want her to wiggle out of this with good old Dad, right? Yeah. This is hard for him because he's a nice guy. I can see that. And a sucker for a little girl that looks great. How would it be if he shortened that a little bit and just said, between you and Mom?
Yeah.
What do you interpret, or what do you think is the major thing you get out of all of this?
That a lot of us, we underestimate the intelligence of our kids and how they interpret what we say and do.
Yeah.
And we tend to kind of like handle them with kid gloves when we really don't have to.
You can just make a rule and have it followed.
Yep.
Now, Linda, in the beginning, you referred to this as kind of ingrained and cultural with you. You know.
The trying to still change the authority part is just a little difficult.
In terms of your confidence in yourself to do things a different way, where are you?
Making progress. I mean,
think
it's
so.
it's still a little difficult.
I would say you have left a good deal of that background behind you already.
Oh,
and I don't know that you totally need to leave all of it behind you ever, but you really are making some changes here. Mm-hmm. And it really looks to me like you get why you would do it, not on a cultural level, but on a personal level. Mm-hmm. That what kind of relationship you want with her and how you want it to go, and that you want respect from her, you want to respect her, and you want to be effective.
You can use these principles and skills to improve your relationships with children. Here are some of the main principles from this episode. Avoid telling children what they already know. Resist assisting the other parent unnecessarily. Resist the temptation to argue. Be firm despite bids for sympathy.